All right, guys, you're going to want to buckle the F in because I'm about to go on a rampage for you. This is going to be the video that you come back to anytime the ego voice slips in, anytime you think about quitting, anytime you wonder what the hell you're doing, anytime you think you're delusional, anytime you're just like, what the fuck is this? This is the video for you. This is a video that I want you to come back to time and time again. And so we're not going to waste a lot of time with this introduction. We're just going to get into it. You are a light worker with a deep ping in your soul. You have felt things since you were a freaking child. You knew since a young age that you're someone who is meant to be so impactful on this planet before you could put the words into it. It was just this feeling and knowing in your soul. And so you go about your life and society teaches you that that's delusional. That's, this is so-and-so. You learn all these limiting beliefs. You learn all these beliefs about money. That's exactly why you've come to my world, whether you are farther along in your money journey, whether you're new in your business, you have been led here because you have a deep ping in your soul. We work quantumly here. You have spent lifetimes training for this very lifetime right here. This very one. Your soul has been through, God, it's been through death. Maybe you were burnt at the stake. I don't know. There's so many magical little witches in here. Maybe we were in lifetimes together. I don't know about you guys, but I have a bunch of friends in Austin who do the same work, and we realize we have connected lifetimes. If we are connected at the soul level, we have been through the shit together. Whatever it is that you've been through, and whatever it is that your family's been through, you were the one designated to do the work, and not the only one. Let's just be clear, because I think this is something that makes people feel really isolated, is that you're actually right now in a community of people all on the same effing mission. And what happens is when you move outside of society, you become, and when I say outside of society, let's be really clear. Outside of society, I just mean breaking the old system, creating your new own system. This is, again, we're old paradigm to new paradigm here. And new paradigm is really just about going back to the way that the world was when it was balanced. But that being said, when you start to move towards new paradigm thinking, new paradigm is built through you. So of course, this is really, really hard. What you are going through is not normal. It's not normal. But that being said, it's because you have an extraordinary soul and you have gone through things in this life that have told you that for some reason, you're incapable. You're, all these things that you've been told that make this almost hard to believe that your soul is leading you this way. And if you're catching this video now, you're probably also enough along in your journey that you know that this is all part of it, but you still hit these moments when you go bigger. Maybe you're expanding. Oh my God, maybe you're expanding 50K months, 100K months. Maybe you're working on making your first $1,000. No matter where you are, these quantum leaps in income, they're going to bring everything up, because each time you move upwards, the vision goes bigger. All the stuff, the higher you go, the deeper you go inside. So that being said, first off, let's get this off the bat. You're not delusional. You're not crazy, blah, 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 blah. You already know that if you're in this space. But this is just your reminder. Because no matter how far you go, those thoughts are still going to come up. By the way, I have some notes. If you see me looking down, I'm just making sure I'm covering all the damn pieces. So this is the lifetime that you have been preparing for. And you're going to tell me that, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I should launch this program because I don't know if it'll fill. And, I really want to do more massages for myself, but I don't know if the money's going to come. And, but that ego voice comes up because, again, I know you guys in this space love to invest in yourself. But when those voices come up, even when you're at the grocery store and your old thinking from growing up with a family in poverty come up while you're in the grocery store, that is the time that you literally break the chain and create the new paradigm through you. So enough said, this lifetime is the lifetime to go big, and you have that calling deep in your soul that you want to literally end this life feeling just, I did it. I did everything that my soul wanted to do. So let's think of this. I want you to think to the end of your lifetime. Think about yourself, who you're surrounded with. Maybe you had a family, maybe you already have a family. I want you to think about that version of you. And I want you to let her look at your life right now and let her show you where you're holding back. Let her show you. Close your eyes and just sit with that vision for a minute. What you're going through right now is really challenging. your bank account isn't reflecting what you know you're capable and worthy of, but it's not a punishment. It's not a punishment. And the thing about money is the more that you make in a soul-aligned way, the more you're also going to be asked to circulate it. Part of the game, and there's going to be a whole nother class on this that's going to be in this library, part of the game is knowing that making big money means circulating big money. You're a circulator. When you work and create your own system, not necessarily outside of the ecosystem, but you're creating your own ecosystem, your own economy. You're not playing in this like limiting economy. You're kind of playing outside. Of course, it's all connected. But that being said, you start to realize that everything you learned about money is false. And so if you're judging yourself because your bank account doesn't feel very good, babe, I didn't mean to make that face, but babe, you are taking risks that most people would not even get close to thinking about taking. Your low bank account is a badge of honor. And honestly, it's a sign of the initiation. It's a sign that things are about to change. It's a sign that you're honestly about to blow up, considering that you're in your business and making the moves and playing the game. Because I know if you're watching this, you are. And so you need to let go of any shame you have around what your bank account looks like. I see a bunch of really, really awesome coaches that I love who do talk about this because, yes, we want to clean up everything behind the scenes, but sometimes to get to where you need to go and climb that mountain, your bank account isn't going to look good. Your debt, your credit score, it's not going to look good. And on that note, so many lightworkers run away from debt because it feels like a trap when actually it's a tool. Sometimes you have to be completely just inventive and just do anything you can to get into the spaces that you need to get to. Oh my God, I have so many times just pulled money out of literally my butt. That's what it feels like. Because I knew that I was meant to be in a space. There's been times where I literally, and again, just to be clear, this was when I had systems and I was in the flow and the soulmate client flow started. This was especially the year that my business blew up to 5K months and then 20K months. Multiple times in that period of time, I felt called to put that money. I had made my first 5K in a month, and then, I spent some of it, and then I felt called to jump into another investment, just such an aligned, just huge soul ping, but it was my rent money. I literally used my rent money, and then I doubled it. So babes, I know that things can feel tough and tight, but we have to let go of what that means about you, because it doesn't mean anything about you. It means that you're trying. It means that you're going for it. And to be honest, it's part of the initiation, especially if you're someone who works in money or just in general, you are here to transmute money, making your business. Sometimes I see businesses that maybe aren't meant to be money expanders. Sometimes I see a lot of them kind of glaze over this part. At the same time, the initiations are part of it. And so I need you to stop judging yourself for what your bank account and your money looks like. I need you to make debt your best friend and not something that you use and then get rid of. Something that you use and expand and grow and then pay off over time and then expand and grow and pay off. Wealthy people use debt. And this is the biggest lie that we've been told. This whole student debt, yada, yada. Yes, the system is broken. Yes, student debt is off because there's imbalances in the system. But debt is not your enemy. And we have been trained again, yet there's people at the top using debt. So I want you little magic light worker, to know that debt is your friend. And you're going to be able to transmute it. I had a perfect credit score, not a lick of debt before I started my business. Not a lick. My credit score, we're growing again. But that being said, perfect credit score doesn't mean you're an exemplary human. If anything, I think a shitty credit score because you fucking went for it means a lot. You're contributing to society in a greatly oh my God, just such a profound way. Woo! So now I'm feeling called to talk a little bit more about ego with money, because your brain will take you around loops trying to build wealth because you are looping out of everything that's been pulling you out. So when my business was exploding, I created this new normal for myself. And during that time was when I was feeling some of the biggest pullback. I was fighting myself a lot of those months. The money would come and then I would kind of fight myself. And so I got invited to a really cool church sermon. And in Austin, there's this really cool church. I like to pop in here and there. Like I say, I'm not necessarily a religious, but I think this is a really cool place to connect to source and God in a really balanced place. And so I went to this sermon and it essentially was saying, What if you're someone who is here to change the world with your money, and then we're sitting here thinking of all the ways that money isn't going to come or it's not going to happen? It's actually not benefiting anyone. It's not benefiting yourself, and it's greatly impacting the people that you're meant to serve. Your soul clients, the ones you have soul contracts with, they are waiting for you to turn on. They're waiting for you to turn on. They're ready to pay you when you unlock that soul contract. And I want you to go watch the game masterclass, because we're going to talk more about that. How do you unlock these soul contracts? That's how the money comes to you. People can pay you outside of soul contracts, by the way. You're going to have soul clients or people that feel like soul clients that, I can't say for certain that every single client of yours is going to be a soulmate client, but when you focus on finding those soul contracted clients, there are people waiting for you right now. You just have to unlock the soul contract with how you need to move. And how you're going to know you need to move is everything I teach in all my programs, by the way. It's connecting and knowing how to connect. So that being said, anything that's taking you out of being wealthy now and finding those people like, oh, this person ignored me in this, I need you to step outside of that. That's why this community is called Metamorphosis, because you're growing. There were so many times, oh my gosh, it took me so long to get in the DMs because I found it so triggering. And once in a while, I'll still get really activated. Because I love you all so much. And I'm so passionate about it. And so it can feel a lot to have, things that happen in the DMs, things that feel off. But that being said, you have to transmute this stuff to show you that there's actually endless possibilities for money right now. And the more you open those possibilities, the more it can flow to you. That is what money flow is. First of all, if it's being in alignment with your soul client, having the strategy structures, all those things, and then putting it the hell out there, facing your fears. Fear is the expander. It's not the wall. And so there's going to be new fear walls that you meet all the time. And you're going to meet them over and over and over again. And oh my God, sometimes you're going to be like, I've never felt this much fear in my life. And then you're like, oh my God, my life is now also the most magical ever. You're climbing a mountain because once you get to the top, it's not like perfectly things move. Let's be real. There's still challenges. There's still loops. You're still unlocking new soul contracts. You're still growing and metamorphosizing. But that being said, you're climbing the mountain because eventually things start to flow to you. I like to think of the mountain as a steep climb up and then kind of a gentle roll down. You kind of get to this point where business starts to move without you. People start sending people to you, but it still requires your momentum. You still have to walk down the mountain. You just climbed up, but now you get to walk on down. It's almost like reminds me of taking the stairs and going on a slide. You still got to move, but that moment is coming. On that note, just real fast, destination happiness. If you find yourself at any way saying, like, once I get here, I'll make it. Once I get here, I'll make it. Make it is not a destination. You might make it to the next level, but then you get to keep going. And that's kind of actually the magic part is I think so many people get to, you get to, oh, I made it or I'll make it here. And then you get there and you're like, this is a lot harder than I thought. You don't make it one time. You make it again and again and again in the best way. Things get easier. Things do get more flowier. That being said, there's not just one end destination. You keep going, and that's the magic. Woo! So I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling fired up, and we still have more time to go. So that being said, investments is a big one. I know sometimes it can feel like, spend money or like, get here and, investments it's just part of it, but it is. It's part of the big money game. You're developing to who you need to be. Isn't it fun to invest in yourself? That's why I created Metamorphosis. I want it to be a place where when you feel pinged here, it feels fucking fun. You meet best friends. We have a really good time. We laugh. I swear a lot. I giggle. I show you my cats all the time. I want this to be fun for you. And investing gets to be fun. Sometimes it feels like this, people get in this mindset of like, oh, do I have, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to speak too much to this because again, if you're in this space, this is almost like an underlying voice I'm talking to because you're in this space for a reason. But that being said, it just is part of the game. It gives you all the hop, skips, and jumps. I'm constantly learning from new people, but I have something really specific that I'm here to share that only would have been unlocked or would not have been unlocked if I didn't invest in myself the way I did. At this point of this video, I've probably invested over $200,000 at this point in myself since starting my business journey. I'm gonna be honest, I lost track. I need to go back and look at it. It might be more. I have no idea. I want to say it's definitely well over $200,000 at this point. And goddamn, I loved every minute of it. I've loved every investment I made. Even if, you know, there was a moment of, oh, maybe, maybe I didn't need this program. No, I was divinely guided to all of them. And that being said, if you're not getting results, I am not someone personally who has ever looked at a coach or like went back and said, oh, if I did this program instead, this would have been better. No, I was guided exactly where I needed to be. All those people put their all into that. They taught exactly what they're here to teach. Oh my God, at the time would have been so nice to get the results quicker. Oh my God. There were times where I was like, I just want here. But I trusted the journey. I trusted that I was led. I got all the keys and codes, and then my income exploded. All because these people are doing the same thing that you're doing, putting yourself out there for the people that you're meant to. They're selling their gift for a reason. It's a gift. It's a gift. So whether Metamorphosis is your place, whether you've already invested in Metamorphosis, whether it's somewhere completely different and you're kind of just like, Lily, I love your energy and I want to be in it, and maybe I'll invest one time, wherever it is, this is just truly the secret of money. And I honestly think it's one of the most fun money pieces. It's so fun. You meet friends, you learn all these things. A lot of times the more I invest in myself, the more I'm exploding. And it's that fun. Things multiply. They compound on each other. They grow over time. And that's the thing. That's how you beat the system. You start playing outside of it. You start learning things. We're here to walk each other together. The way that we beat the system is by walking each other out of it together. This is a collective system. I feel like the economy, I don't know about you guys, most of you are in the US. The US economy just feels so isolated. There's technically it's the same thing, goods and services, and there's so many amazing people in the economy. Something about it feels so isolating. It's almost like we're all just in our own bubbles, and we kind of understand that we're all supplying each other, but no one thinks of it from that lens. People think of, oh, I'm losing money. Oh, I want to go out to eat, but that's losing money. What if it's putting money in the hands of the hard-working man who moved here for his family and makes freaking amazing food? And then you get amazing food in return, right? So the same thing with investing. It's meant to walk you to where you need to go. And that's, we work quantumly here. And a lot of you work quantumly. You've probably been paying to investments before. And so that being said, spending money is a beautiful thing, and you're here to be a circulator. But that being said, spending from the wisdom of your body is important. It's not just about spend. Spend when your body tells you. Spend when your brain, not your brain, oh my gosh, we just had a notification. When your soul guides you to spend, that's when you're meant to spend. Not, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. You can do that sometimes. It's not saying don't do it. But that being said, this is how we create a new system, and we say F the old rules. And we create this system with all these magical light workers and all the other amazing God-centered people on this planet. Maybe they don't necessarily have or tapped into their intuitive gifts, but I don't know about you. I've not met one entrepreneur that isn't God-centered, doesn't talk about God in some way. It's miracles on miracles and miracles, and you have to keep believing in the miracles. You have to keep believing in the miracles. So that being said, F the rules. F anything that's telling you to be serious in your business. F anything that is telling you to be a certain way. I'm going to do my best to not be here to tell you to be a certain way. I'm going to give you the ways to play in your own way. That is my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal to you. Learn how to create a business that is an extension of you, so that you go out into your life and you feel like magic happens everywhere you go. Just the other week, I talked about how the flowers on my trees outside were blooming. I have not seen other trees blooming. We're in the middle of summer in Texas. I don't know what's going on. I'm still newer here, so maybe this is. But that being said, I walked outside the minute after I had a reconnection with someone that felt very magical, and the trees were just blooming. That's normal. I have clients come to me all the time saying that the universe sent them and they're ready to go. This is the magic, guys, that happens when you say F the rules and you tap into the magic in your business. That happens when you let go of anything that told you to be serious, anything you have to be a certain way. Woo! We're deconditioning that shit. And this leads me to one of the most important topics of all. There's so many parts of me that I'm like, all this could go in the front because it's all so important. I want to make sure you watch it all. F the people that aren't supporting you. And it's hard. It's so hard. I could almost cry. I'm not crying, but I was so attached to my friendships. That was such a huge piece of my identity, was my friendships. I still really highly value friendships, and I value a lot of the friendships that I've had for a long time. But that being said, I have friends who just, their energy changed, they lurk on my page. Something shifted. That was my fear starting my business. I thought that I was going to get exiled. I actually just worked through some womb work recently where I realized I had a phobia that I was going to be exiled and just never talk to a human again. Almost like I had a scarlet letter. I was invisible on the planet. That was the fear. It was like a phobia. I've been so scared to see who reveals themselves as not in full support of me. It's been one of the hardest parts of my business journey. It's, part of the reason business takes time, because I needed to unfold into who I needed to be, to metamorphosis. And I know it's really scary to think about losing your friends. I know it's really scary to think about having hard conversations with your family. I know firsthand how scary that is. But you not being in your full self is a disservice to you. It's abandonment to yourself. And the thing is, in this journey, you're already far enough along that it's inevitable that you're going to have to let some people go. And I'm not here to force that. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to remind you of the abandonment of yourself. The more that you keep yourself small, the more that your business is going to stay small. The more that you hide your authentic self, whatever that means to you, the more that clients aren't going to see you for you. That was actually something, as I've unfolded into this newer version of myself, even just in the past few months, it's people that used to resonate with me. There was a lot of people who stopped resonating with me because I got bigger and I got bolder and I started swearing more. And people were asking me what certain phrases I used meant. And things made people feel uncomfortable. I also love when people bring this stuff to me. And a lot of it was in a really, really positive way where we actually created more connection. But that being said, it's going to cause you to feel isolated, but it's also an illusion because you're going to be led to your people. You're going to be led to your soul people. And anything that doesn't fit, it's going to find its way out anyway. And so the more we've resisted out of fear, the more that it happens in a chaotic way. I look at it like this. There's a bus that you're on and you're driving the bus. And over time, there's going to be people that come and they sit at the front of the bus and it kind of moves people back. There's going to be people that reorganize in your life. But at the same time, you have relationships with these people and they're forever going to spread for the rest of your life, whether you speak again or not. And so I want you to think of this not as like this cutoff. I want you to think of it as inviting new people and new energy into your life. An unfortunate truth I've had to sit with, and again, this has been hard, as a party girl from Chicago who used to stay out till 4 and 5 a.m. all the time, I've had to start to really let go of some of those friends, and I love them, and I still check in with them here and there, and sometimes they reply to my stories, but I've had to just let the reins go, let it reorganize. Because the truth is, if you want to create change on this planet, you're going to have to surround yourself with people that are on the same mission. That's, again, why I created this space. Don't cut these people out. That is not what I'm saying. I have not cut anyone out. They're still in my orbit. They are still people I love, but I let the reins go. I had this tight rein on them, and I was so scared of losing them. These people that I've loved for so long, and I was so attached to as part of my identity as a party girl. Again, party girl, not in like a crazy way. I love to host parties. Look at me now. Metamorphosis. We're hosting a huge party. It's just changed. So letting go of the reins is going to let them shift in a divine way. It's going to open space for people that I can't even believe some of the people I've been meeting. They remind me of these friends I'm speaking of, but they also are magic and witchy and building businesses and trying to change the world. You have to let space for these people because neurologically, it is literally holding you back being around people that are reinforcing your old beliefs all the time. When I'm in these spaces and I feel aligned and I go back and I hang out with people, again, these people aren't cut out of my life. But I'm not afraid to speak into that when I'm there. And you're gonna feel like people maybe are like, what the fuck, this girl, the spiritual girl. So personally, I don't feel that. I don't hang out with people that would ever project on people like that. But if you are someone who is in those types of spaces, you have to learn how to protect yourself. And it is really hard. Your human's attached to it. It's not easy. Again, it's been one of the hardest parts of my journey. But you have to remember that neurologically, this is going to make taking off in your business incredibly hard if you're around people who constantly doubt you. Recently, I ended up removing some people from my following that just felt like they were lurking. They're people I still love. They're people I would still even If I'm in the city, back in Chicago or wherever, I'll probably check in with them. I love them. I know that they're not trying to be a lurker. I know that they still have love for me. But if I'm feeling that energy on my page, I'm going to remove it. I had to have a really hard conversation with my mom to be able to get to where I am in my business. I had to sit her down and talk to her about a lot of what was coming up inside of me as I was starting my business. My business started because of a disconnection with someone I'm super spiritually linked with romantically. And we had this huge disconnect. And I was able to see that a lot was coming up for me had to do with abandonment wounds and mother wounds. And so over time, my business started, and I realized a huge thread keeping me from blowing off the way I kept seeing clairvoyantly. Not only was the soul client stuff pinging at this time, I realized I needed space from my mom. That was really hard. I was very angry at my mom for years, especially as this was all coming up about the year and a half leading up to this moment. But even before that, I had a lot of resentment towards my mom that I didn't understand because it was so packed down. I just thought that I was deserving of the treatment that I felt. My mom was a very chaotic mother. And I took space from her. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done and the most freeing things I've ever done. And now our relationship is better. So these conversations that you could be avoiding, even with friends that are shifting, it's making it harder for you. And you get to have these conversations, and these people will probably come back stronger. You might have people that just completely ping out, and you're going to have the right people, and you're going to know in your heart who these people are. They're going to ping in even stronger. So anything you're avoiding is showing up in your business. I was avoiding that conversation with my mom. It got to the point where spirit guides started telling me to have the conversation with her. The more you avoid a hard conversation, the more it shows up in your business. So I need you to remember that. The more that you avoid just letting go of the reins on friendship. I've let go of the reins and nothing's changed. It's just the feeling of this. That's it. So that being said, we got some more here. Guys, I love you guys so much. Your mission is bigger than you. It's for other people. You are here not just for yourself and creating an amazing life for yourself. First of all, think of all the amazing things you can do for yourself. I'm in my amazing up-leveled house that I moved into in October, all because I'm moving for other people. I don't need a huge house. My house is definitely big for one person. That's for sure. I don't need much bigger than this. I am planning on having a family, so I probably will need more rooms. But that being said, I don't need some ritzy house. It's not about that, but I feel so abundant here. I feel so good. You deserve all the nice things. You deserve to have that space that makes you feel so good. You deserve to take the vacations you want to take. But on that note, you're here to circulate money. You're here to make money that changes the world. This is bigger than just you. Your mission is going to fuel people through your work. You're going to literally bring the earth to a new paradigm through the work you're helping people to do. You're fulfilling soul contracts. Maybe you're going to just awaken people out of a slumber. Maybe you're going to literally, oh my gosh, I think about this all the time. I'm like, what if I help launch, I don't want to say not me, all these amazing light workers that have come to me to start their business. I'm like, oh my God, I just see every single one of you just like completely changing the world. One of you could win the Nobel Peace Prize. Maybe because I woke you up just by being me. Think about all the people you're going to affect just by being you. Just by being you. All the change that's going to happen. I want you to think of that. The one person you help who has this conversation with someone who, heals this relationship with someone. It's a web. We're all in the web together. And I need you to think about this web all the freaking time. This web. You are here to change the world, and how you're going to do that is by being fully in your power, living this lifetime to the fullest. And if you're here, it's because you feel you just feel called to just scale your business to the moon. And then you're going to put that money in all the good places. You're going to, oh my God, I love tipping people really well. I love tipping waiters and waitresses really well. I love traveling and tipping those people really well, especially when I go to places like Egypt and places that are really in scarcity, their whole society. I love having money to bless them. Oh my God, does it feel good? That is exactly what Source wants. This heart-centered abundance. It's beautiful. It's magic. It's fulfilling for you and for them. For both. It is so fulfilling. It fills your cup. So we're getting to the last few minutes here. And I just want to remind you how powerful you are and how powerful your work is. It is a travesty to not have it out on the planet. Your soul is guiding you. It knows exactly the way to go. And I'm here to remind you to keep trusting it. Keep trusting your soul, where it leads you, where it has you show up, all the things, the journey that it leads you on. Your soul is calling you to something so big and so grand and so magic that it's going to be hard to see it right now. And then you're going to get to that destination that you've maybe felt, and then you're going to realize there's more. And not in the, oh my God, I want all this stuff. Like, let's be careful of that energy. If you find yourself obsessively healing and you find yourself obsessively wanting money, let's be clear that that's also a disconnect from the truth. And it's just part of the integration, guys, just so you know. And so that being said, guys, on this note, we're going to let this video start to come to a close. And I'm here to remind you that your business is inevitable. This vision that you feel, your blueprint, it is inevitable as long as you keep moving. So if you have to start moving at 1% for a day or two, that's fine, as long as you keep moving. Part of the moving means letting yourself rest and pull back. But as long as you keep moving, there's no failure. That's an illusion. There's no disappointment. It's all an illusion. Anything that's telling you you're wrong, you're bad, you're not doing it enough, it doesn't matter as long as you keep moving. I love you guys so much. I love you, Metamorphosis people. And I'm so excited that you're in this space. I love you.